What's up, boys and girls? Namecoat Dustin here with another edition of Fantasy Smack Talk, bi-weekly baseball show. So we're going to be talking about guys that you should be thinking of dropping to start, or maybe not to drop in, guys that you might not want on your roster anymore, but maybe you need to keep them because of their name.
Can I drop that guy? This is the name of this segment. First guy, Brandon Phillips. Now he's still owned in a lot of leagues, but we have heard some people cutting him loose, getting tired of him, but you drafted Brandon Phillips, so you have to draft what he is, and that is a 260 to 280 average, a little bit of speed, decent power, and his power might be down a little bit, but he's doing just that. No, you can't drop him. He's still going to be probably top 12 second baseman, and he still has a name. You cannot drop Brandon Phillips.
The next guy's got an almost 5 ERA, 7 losses, 69 Ks in 99 innings.
Ouch.
But you can't drop him. It's Justin Verlander. And I don't think he's necessarily going to bounce back, and I don't like the articles that he's going to become a closer or something stupid like that for the Tigers. The only reason you can't drop him is because if you do, somebody's going to gobble him up. So you hold on at least 1 or 2 more starts, hope for a big game, and then you maybe try to trade him. If it doesn't pan out, it might be a Tim Lincecum situation all over again. But just give him a little bit more time. Just a little bit more.
You can maybe trade him right now to the right person who's looking for a gamble. Devin Mesoraco is the next guy I want to talk about. Now, this is a guy that is still available in a lot of leagues, but he's a guy that's been on a hot streak. I'm saying, unless you have to, don't cut him and see if this guy can keep it up. He's had success in the past, but yes, he is a guy. If you have a solid catcher, you're not worried about him. The chances are of him cooling off are way higher than him keeping this up. So with that being said, feel free to come in if you're happy with your catcher. But I do think there's a chance that he could keep this up.
And it's already been big waves, and the lows have been pretty low. But it's a catcher. Gio Gonzalez is the next guy on the list. 4.62 ERA, and this is unlike a Verlander situation. I actually don't have a lot of faith in Verlander bouncing back and being great in the second half of the year. I think Gio actually could be, so under no circumstances am I cutting Gio. I'm going to ride him out pretty much the whole year and hope that him on that ace of a pitching staff they got anyway just gets into the fold as well and starts pitching great.
Let's talk about the waiver wire mustaches in all leagues. We've got a couple for you. The first one, Giovanni Gallardo, out there in Milwaukee. Only owned in 65% of leagues, which is kind of surprising since his ERA is right in the mid-3s. His Ks are down a little bbit, but let's not forget, a few years ago, this guy was going to be the next big thing. Never really panned out, or he did regress a little bit, so now people are a little hesitant to pick him back up. But you need to pick this guy up. When you're looking at the waiver wire, the odds of finding that next diamond in the rough guy is much worse than picking up a guy like Gallardo and hoping that he goes back to what he's already done in the past.
All right, next guy's owned in 65% of leagues, and I was shocked to see that number, and that is Billy Butler.
It's Billy Boy.
How is he 65% of leagues? I love this guy. I drafted him in 2 of my leagues. He jumped his average 30 points in the last 2 weeks. I'm calling it right now. Billy Butler is a professional hitter. He's going to bat 300 from here on out. So I'm saying if he's available, definitely scoop him, or low ball trade offer, try to grab him.
Next, we'll talk about some people to add in deeper leagues. And this guy, you could certainly make an argument that he should be added in all leagues, but because of his power, I'm just saying deeper for now. But that's Brock Holt for Boston. First, third outfield eligibility, you gotta love that. His power numbers aren't necessarily there when it comes with home runs, but 15 extra base hits and 151 at bats, you gotta love that. Decent power, or decent speed, decent average. Right now it's well above average, but I'm anticipating that going down. Keeper leagues, dynasty leagues, you'd be drooling all over this guy. A lot of upside with him.
All right, I'm going to be talking about a closer, and that's Neil Ramirez for the Cubbies. This is the kind of guy Dustin and I were just talking about. He's playing great right now. A 1 ERA, a .7 whip in 17 innings. He's got 3 saves. Looks like he's going to be the closer. But he looks like he's going to be a closer. He just feels like that guy's going to give up 7 runs all of a sudden and crush your team 1 week in a head-to-head league. So tread lightly. That's why he's not a must-add in all leagues. But again, don't pay for saves in the draft unless you're getting a top guy who are doing money. That's it. Go ahead to the next guy.
All right, thank you.
I was going to keep going.
Next guy is another guy we're really shocked to see what percentage of leagues he's owned in, and that's Scooter Gennett.
Scooter!
Good old Scooter. Only owned in 10%
Shooter.
of leagues, and I get it. The main thing is because he's not going to play against left-handers, but He's already got 200 at-bats on the season. You know, he's on pace for a decent amount of at-bats at a tough position to fill. He's hitting over 300. He's got decent speed. He's going to be a guy that can still help you. Whenever he's playing a left-hander, put him on your bench. But he's a great second baseman to have. His numbers are too good to just keep him on the waiver wire. In 90% of leagues, that just doesn't make sense to me.
Name the movie Shooter McGavin. Not you, Dustin. Next guy is Danny Santana. He is now playing outfield for the Twins, but he's got second base and shortstop eligibility for your fantasy team, so you gotta love that. He has been playing great. This 23-year-old has 6 bags, almost like a 350 average and 110 at-bats. I mean, he's been playing absolutely out of his mind due to that crazy position. He's gonna regress, but due to that crazy position eligibility, grab him immediately.
Gotta love it. Kevin Gausman's the next guy, young pitcher for Baltimore. And this is the type of guy that people this time of year are going to think about picking up and dropping a guy like Verlander. Don't do that. Yes, this is, Gausman's one of the biggest pitching prospects in the league. A lot of people are going to talk about him, getting a lot of hype. A lot of people are picking him up right now. Obviously, keeper leagues, dynasty leagues, go get this guy. But, you still got to temper your expectations, with a guy coming out of the minors who was good in the minors, but I'm not expecting him to come in and just pitch lights out in the majors, but he could be good in years to come.
All right, next we're talking about a second baseman for Detroit, owned, and I think he actually plays some third, but he's owned in 30% of leagues only, and that's Nick Castellanos. He's just really hot as of late. I don't think it's going to keep up for the year, but whenever a guy, especially when you're in a deeper league, is on a hot streak, it's great to pick them up and ride out the streak. So that's why he's a must-add in deeper leagues. You grab him, you plug him in. I'm sure you out there's plenty of you that need some help with those positions. So scoop them, plug in, ride out the hot streak.
Another young pitcher for you, and that's Andrew Heaney, another guy that is getting a lot of hype right now. Everything I said about Gausman, same thing for Heaney. There you go. Young pitcher, lots of upside. Just be careful.
I already said it about Gausman.
Well,
so you just like to hear yourself talk.
Sometimes.
You need to go.
Well, now you can talk.
Good. That's all that I wait for. I just
and
wait
you
for
don't
you
like
to stop.
Hear yourself talk?
I'm not shameful to admit that though.
Okay.
You over there try to be high and mighty. Jake Arrietta is the next guy up on the list. 25% of leagues, starting pitcher for the Cubbies again. Apparently I'm loving talking about Cubbies. 2.09 ERA in 50 innings. We love that. Basically has a 1-to-1 K to inning pitch ratio, which
we love that.
And who really loves it? Yeah, I was going to say you love that.
Okay.
Dustin loves that, and he loves doubles. Those are his two things.
Doubles.
If you could have a team with 1-to-1 ratio and all doubles, he'd be the happiest person on the earth.
I love young guys that get doubles because you can get them cheap, and then the doubles turn into home runs. Look at Brantley. Look at Brantley this year.
He loves doubles. That's all I hear about the draft, in the pre-draft rankings.
Brantley?
He's awesome.
Brantley.
I own him in one league simply because of you. I will give you full credit.
And
See, I am man enough to admit that, unlike you are sometimes.
One guy to keep an eye on is Robinson Chirinos, catcher for Texas. This is a guy that his minor league stats, I know you just can't wait to wrinkle that.
I'm not even you. That's even distracting you. I intentionally waited.
That's because I know what that means is your potential. Yeah. He wasn't really that impressive in the minors, but coming to the bigs, he's been going nuts. I'm just saying keep an eye on him for right now just because I'm not totally buying his numbers. But he is someone keeping an
eye on. I was going to let you go first, even. Mean guy, you go first and give a good shot. Not like a girl. Why do you throw like a little dart like that? It's weird.
I can throw it however I want.
It's just weird. Oh!